Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm back with the last of our book bracket books. This is one of my all-time favorite books to read, and there's a lot going on, so I'm going to do my best to make sure you see the pictures. It's called Math Curse. This one was one of my class favorites back in 94. So I don't think you've ever heard this one, but I think you'll like it. But you got to listen carefully and look at the pictures. So, Math Curse by John Skiska and Lane Smith. And when you open up this book, it's going to be really hard to see, but it's all kinds of math problems. Again, then we have your title page. And this is what's kind of funny. So they do the dedications here, and I'm going to read them to you because they're kind of cool. So the author says, if the sum of my nieces and nephews equals 15 and their product equals 54, and I have more nephews than nieces, how many nephews and how many nieces is this book dedicated to? And then the illustrator says, if I divide the number of years my dad was an accountant to 30 by the number of years I needed help with my math, 30, I get one dedication for Dad, the CPA. So you're going to see this whole book is math problems, including the dedications. On Monday, in math class, Mrs. Fibonacci says, you know, you can think of everything as a math problem. On Tuesday, I started having problems. So there he is. I wake up at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. Suddenly, it's a problem. Number 1, if my bus leaves at 8 o'clock, will I make it on time? Number 2, how many minutes in 1 hour? Number 3, how many teeth in one mouth? I look in my closet and the problems get worse. I have 1 white shirt, 3 blue shirts, 3 striped shirts, and 1 ugly plaid shirt my Uncle Zeno sent me. Number 1, how many shirts is that all together? Number 2, how many shirts would I have if I threw away that awful plaid shirt? Number 3, when will Uncle Zeno quit sending me such ugly shirts? I'm getting a little worried. Everything seems to be a problem. Here he is. I take the milk out for my cereal and wonder, how many quarts in a gallon? How many pints in a quart? How many inches in a foot? How many feet in a yard? How many yards in a neighborhood? How many inches in a pint? How many feet in my shoes? I don't even bother to take out the cereal. I don't want to know how many flakes in the bowl. Mrs. Fibonacci has obviously put a math curse on me. Everything I look at or think about has become a math problem. Here's his milk. And look, he's hiding over here. I try to get on the bus without thinking about anything, but there are 5 kids already on the bus. 5 kids get on at my stop, 5 more get on the next stop, and 5 more get on at the last stop. True or false? What is the bus driver's name? Mrs. Fibonacci has this chart of the month everyone's birthday is in. Number 1, which month has the most birthdays? Number 2, which month has the fewest? Number 3, why doesn't February have a W? Number 4, don't you think this chart looks sort of like a row of buildings? Number 5, do you ever look at clouds and think they look like something else? Number 6, what does this ink blot look like to you? So here's the chart of the birthdays. I'm going to go from one end to the other. Wait, am I going the right way? So you can see he's looking at it, and instead of just looking at it, now all of a sudden everything is questions. The whole morning is one problem after another. There are 24 kids in my class. I just know someone is going to bring in cupcakes to share. We sit in 4 rows with 6 desks in each row. What if Mrs. Fibonacci rearranges the desks to make 6 rows, 8 rows, 3 rows, 2 rows? I count the 24 kids in our class again, this time by twos. Jake scratches his finger. Jake scratches his paper with 1 finger. How many fingers are there in our class? Casey pulls Eric's ear. How many ears are there in our class? The new girl, Kelly, sticks our tongue out at me. How many tongues are in our class? I'm about to really lose it when the lunch bell rings. So his brain, this is the load he's going through. Everything he looks at has become a math problem. Unfortunately for me, lunch is pizza and apple pie. Each pizza is cut into 8 equal slices. Each pie is cut into 6 equal slices. And you know what that means? Fractions. If I want 2 slices of pizza, should I ask for 1/8 of the pizza? 2/8 of the pizza? 2 slices of pizza? What is another way to say half of an apple pie? 2/6? 3/6? Le beauté d'une tarte aux pommes? That's French. Which tastes greater? Half a pizza? Half an apple pie? We haven't studied fractions yet, so I take 12 carrot sticks, 3 at a time, and eat them 2 at a time. In the afternoon, every subject is a problem. Social studies is a geography problem. The Mississippi River is about 4,000 kilometers long. An M&M is about 1 centimeter long. There are 100 centimeters in a meter and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Number 1, estimate how many M&Ms would it take to measure the length of the Mississippi River. Number 2, estimate how many M&Ms you would eat if you had to measure the Mississippi River with M&Ms. Bonus. Can you spell Mississippi without any M&Ms? Look at his head. It's become big fractions. English is a word problem. If mail plus box equals mailbox, does lipstick minus stick equal lip? Does tuna fish plus tuna fish equal fornafish? Phys ed, PE, is a sports problem. In 1919, Babe Ruth hit 29 home runs. He batted .322 and made $40,000. In 1991, the average major league player hit 15 home runs, batted .275 and made $840,000. Circle the correct answer. Babe Ruth is less than the average modern baseball player. Babe Ruth is greater than the average modern baseball player. Babe Ruth is equal to the average modern baseball player. In art, we finally get to relax with a connect the dot picture. Here's my picture. Here's his picture. Too bad it turns out to be a connect the ancient Mayan numerals picture. Math is just a total problem. Mrs. Fibonacci says there are many different ways to count. She gives us some examples. She asks us to give some examples. Russell counts on his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Molly says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Mrs. Fibonacci says I always count 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. But on the planet Tetra, kids only have 2 fingers on each hand. They count 1, 2, 3, 10. And on the planet Binary, kids only have 1 finger on each hand. They count 1, 10. What are the next 5 numbers in the sequence above? Do you think Mrs. Fibonacci has been to the planet Tetra? How would you bowl if you lived on the planet Binary? So here's Russell counting on his fingers. Here's Molly counting by 2s. And now look. In Tetra, they have 2 fingers. And in Binary, they have 1. How would you bowl? We were just about to go home when Rebecca remembers the special birthday cupcakes that her mom made. There are 24 kids in the class. Rebecca has 24 cupcakes. So what's the problem? Rebecca wants Mrs. Fibonacci to have a cupcake too. Everyone is going crazy trying to figure out what fraction of a cupcake each person will get. I'm the first to figure out the answer. I raise my hand and I tell Mrs. Fibonacci, I'm allergic to cupcakes. Everyone, 24, believes me and gets one cupcake. No one has to figure out fractions. Ooh, those look good. I stagger out of school. I'm a math zombie now. I have to find something to break this math curse. I decide to try chocolate. My favorite candy bar is usually 50 cents. But guess what? Today it's on sale for 50% off. So he writes, look, he has a math problem. And it says, where A equals the number of letters in your first name, B equals your age, and C your shoe size, I decide to buy licorice instead. I pull out my money. I have a $5 bill, a $1 bill, a quarter, and a penny. George Washington is on both.
I don't know that.
George Washington is on both the quarter and the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln is on both the penny and the $5 bill. So which is true? A, 1 Washington equals 25 Lincolns. 5 Washingtons equals 1 Lincoln. 1 Washington equals 100 Lincolns. 1 Lincoln equals 20 Washingtons. Don't forget to show your work. Extra credit. How do you think Thomas Jefferson feels about all this? I am now a raving math lunatic. What if this keeps up for a whole year? How many minutes of math madness would that be? What's your problem, says my sister. 365 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes, I snarl. Dinner brings me no relief. While passing the mashed potatoes, Mom says, what your father says is false. Dad helps himself to some potatoes and says, what your mother says is true. I think about that for a minute. If what Mom says is true, then what Dad says is false. But if what Dad says is false, then what Mom says isn't true. And if what Mom says isn't true, then what Dad says isn't false. And that can't be true because he says that what Mom says is true. And she says what he says is false. Can that be true? I think about that. And then I think about that some more. Then I think I better go to bed. I undo 8 buttons plus 2 shoelaces. I subtract 2 shoes. I multiply times 2 socks and divide by 3 pillows to get 5 sheep, remainder 1, which is all I need to count before I fall asleep. Then the problems really begin. Get our poor friend. He looks very upset. I dream I'm trapped in a room with no doors and no windows. The room is covered with a lifetime of problems. I have only one piece of chalk. How do I get out? I'm about to give up and die when the answer to my problems comes to me. Fractions. I break the chalk in half. Then I put the 2 halves together. 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 whole. Oh my gosh, look at his dream. Whoa. I put the hole on the wall and I jump out. I'm free. Look. He put the hole on the wall and he jumps out. I wake up Wednesday morning at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. My bus leaves at 8 o'clock. What time will I be ready? 7:41. No problem. The curse is broken. I've broken the math curse. I can solve any problem. And life is just great until science class when Mr. Newton says, you know, you can think of almost everything as a science experiment. Look at his face. The end. There's a lot in that book to follow, so I hope I read it in a way that you guys could kind of get some of the jokes, or rewatch it if you want to, or I don't know, maybe they have this at the library at some point or online, an ebook. You can check it out, but it's a really fun one. So you need to write your piece and vote on which you like better. Two very different stories, but they're both fun. Pirates Don't Change Diapers, Math Curse, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow and hear what you think, and then we'll figure out our final 4. Bye, guys.